Well, good morning, everybody. How you doing here? Welcome to Chicago. We got November the 7th, 2025 here. We got 6:52 in the a.m. It's Friday. I'm going to be working from home today, so we'll just, hey, how you doing? Yeah, we were here by Lakeview. This is where Lakeview begins, and this is Fullerton. Heads to Lakeshore Drive. This is the nice housing here, and this is Lakeview becomes Sheridan. This is the Mies van der Rohe building, international style. Looks like all the other ones. But hey, Anik, how you doing? Am I saying your name right? A-E-H-N-C. I know the Cyrillic. I know us. I'm not good at reading Cyrillic. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Thanks for tuning in there. David, how you doing there? David Ochoa, good morning. Jessica, Michael Rodriguez, yeah. And Ramiro, good morning. Yeah, it's about 50 degrees. It's a little warmer than it was yesterday. There is some wind. We'll check out the fall foliage, the fall color here. All I'm doing is, yeah, look at the yellows here. Yeah, let's just kind of tootle around here. It's kind of high. Well, there's some crazy clouds by the lake going through there. We got low clouds that are moving fast, and we got some high clouds. And I guess there was some rain overnight, but hopefully it's done. What I'm hoping to do at lunchtime, here's my general game plan for today for live streaming. So we're going to live stream for about the next half hour or so here on YouTube. I'm going to head up to the Marianos there on Broadway in Lakeview. I'll end the live when I go grocery shopping. I don't like grocery shopping when I'm live streaming. I forget things, and forget to buy things, and then because I get distracted. And then we'll here's the 143. It goes express, so you can catch it here at Stockton. Then when I come out of the grocery, I'll walk back on TikTok, and we'll do the similar thing that we did yesterday, where we it'll be for super fans only. Can comment, everybody can watch. That worked really well yesterday, so I want to try that again. It'll be a good way to practice with it. And then at lunchtime, we'll be on YouTube. We'll go to the zoo. At least that's my general plan. We'll see if we can get some more footage of the grizzly bears. There are 2 grizzly bears at the Lincoln Park Zoo that have been loaned there recently from the Madison, Wisconsin Zoo. We already got some footage on it. But hey, you know, hopefully today will be a good day to go to the zoo. And then I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. We'll figure it out. But hey, thanks for tuning in now. Yeah, and Nisi G's tuning in. Ramiro, Lamby T, how you doing there? Good morning. Yeah, T-Lime Tea Time. You see that? We saw it wasn't Coco, it was the Quincy robot. It was a competitor. So the Quincy is a different company than the Coco. And I wonder if one day they'll meet and talk to each other. Here's Nelios. Yeah, how you doing there? T-Lime Tea Time. Yeah. Yeah, it might snow on Sunday and Monday. I know there's snow flurries in the air. It's going to get colder this weekend, so we're going to enjoy today. Chris, how you doing there? Chris Schultz, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. And yeah, East Lansing there. There we go. Samuel Jones, Naya Papaya, Christian, South Africa. Thanks for tuning in. That's good. So hey, the sun's about to rise there. I think the sun's already risen. The sun rose about 6:30, but it's still behind, or 6:40, but it's still behind the clouds there. We got 6:56. We're checking out the fall color here. Look at the beautiful deciduous trees here changing their leaves. And yeah, Joseph, MM, Pat, Jesus, Frederick, 757. Yeah, riding the bus. Mary Therese, good morning, Mary Therese. How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate it. And yeah, look at the little flowers here. Yeah, wildflowers. Wilted flower. We're seeing wildflowers. See, Kissimmee, Florida here. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Teresa's tuning in from Valpo. Chris. Yeah. Samuel. Joel. Hey, you retired there. That's good. You maybe we did business in the past. I'm still not retired. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. That's a good name there. I like your name there. You can work for the pharmaceutical industry. You can hawk some of the Ozempic or whatever else they're pushing there. Yeah, Joseph. Mary Therese, very nice. So here, let's see here. So look at the housing across the way. And yeah, this is the North Pond. So if you just joined, we're in Lincoln Park, Chicago. This is the North Pond. See that housing upstairs by Diversey. And that's where we're heading. We're going to head up to the Marianos here in Lakeview. We're just checking out the fall colors. I was just going to walk straight up Lakeview, but we went in the park here to check out the fall colors. See, we got the beautiful changing of the leaves here. Hey, and yeah, we'll stick by the pond here for a second here. Yeah, David's tuning in from Compton there, a friend from California there. That's good. And I got to meet David here. He was in Chicago earlier this year. We met in the park down that way by the zoo. Here's yeah, got yellow leaves. But hey, we saw that Coco robot last night. Let's see what else. Let's check the headlines. I didn't even check the sports scores here. Let's see if the Bulls or Blackhawks played. Bulls have been doing pretty good. Let's see, Bulls. Oh. When I type too fast, I make mistakes here. Bulls score. There we go. So it looks like, okay, let's see, November 4th. Yeah, so they beat the 76ers. We knew about that. Next game is today at 7. The Bulls play the Milwaukee Bucks. So later today, let's see if the Blackhawks played here. So hold on a second here. I'm checking the scores here. Oops. Blackhawks score. Saturday, Monday, Wednesday. Wednesday, the Blackhawks beat the Canucks 5-2. Let's see. The Blackhawks play the Calgary Flames today at 8 o'clock. So hey, we got the Bulls playing the Bucks tonight at 7, and we got the Blackhawks playing the Canucks there at 8. So hey, there you go. There's your sun. So that's the closest as we're going to get to sunrise today. The sun's already risen, but it rose over the clouds there. There's your sunrise over the North Pond for November the 7th, 2000. Yeah, Milwaukee's got a lot of trees there. I know it's beautiful. I've gone there in the summertime. We've taken the bike rides. My friends did the brew crawl there. The breweries along the bike path. I rode along with them and was doing my own beer crawl in my mind. But yeah, some neighborhoods in Chicago have a lot of trees, like Lincoln Park, even Kenwood, even on the south side. Beverly has a lot of trees. Other neighborhoods don't have as many trees. Chicago used to not have a lot of trees, but it has probably more trees on the streets now than they let a lot of the streets grow back in areas where they used to cut them back. Here's this shelter here. Hey, we'll catch the sunrise here over the North Pond. Yeah, Minneapolis. Hey, that's a nice place there. Yeah, Christy M there. Paul G. Positive energy. Yeah, let's keep this going here. I gotta make sure I don't get dragged down into yelling about stuff I can't control. You know me. It's hard to see these viral videos. But hey, I was able to meet Darren Monroe there yesterday. We hung out at what's it called? Lizzie. What is that called? That bar there. It's why can't I think? Lizzie McNeil's. We hung out at Lizzie McNeil's, and it was nice to see people hanging out at a bar there. It was nice to see Darren. We had a nice chat there. See, you can't even see the skyline. Look at the clouds. Normally you could see a nice view to the John Hancock. Let's see what it looks like here. We'll go over by the North Pond here. I think most of the skyline's obscured by clouds here. So here we'll head right through the tunnel and we'll walk by. The good thing about me doing YouTube first this morning and then going to the grocery store, and then we'll switch to TikTok after I come out of the grocery store this morning, and we'll do the super only can comment. That worked good yesterday. Is I'm going to retrace my steps. I'm going up to the grocery store, I'll walk back. So we'll film it going up there on YouTube, and then when we reverse it, so I'm not repeating myself, I can walk past the same stuff and do it on TikTok. If you want to watch it again, that's fine. I know I was getting a glare last night with the lights. We'll get that fixed before we get the Christmas lights. We'll make sure that was annoying, I know. I didn't realize how bad it was until I watched the reruns. Here's the North Pond Cafe here. And see, look, yeah, let's look at the Chicago skyline there, kind of partially obscured by clouds here. Alvin, how you doing there? Thanks for tuning in there. Yeah, the Blackhawks play the Canucks tonight. I think it's 8 o'clock. This should be a good game. Yeah. Hey, Mary Teresa. So you can walk that way. There's the that's the Hamilton statue there. And yeah, beautiful fall color here, Lincoln Park, North Pond. We'll head right over to Lakeview. See that? Yeah, this golden statue here. This is Hamilton. That's the backside of Hamilton there. We walked up there before, but I want to walk through. I want to show you this housing that we always go by, but we check out the progress of the Second Church of Christ Scientist. And it gives me an excuse to walk by the Dewey's house. Yeah, hit the thumbs up there. Thanks for double tapping the screen there. It's easy to do. You double tap the screen, it allows people to find this content. That's the way. That's all YouTube has is the thumbs up. There's no tapping the screen or happy hearts, all these things. Yeah, Lamby T there, Ricardo, Christy. Oh, the Broncos paid respect. Good. I'll look into that. Thanks. I know it's a wind tunnel here. This is why I was going to walk up along Lakeview. The wind's so strong. So, see, once you get around these tall buildings, it gets really windy. So, welcome to the Windy City. But no, I'll look into that, Lamby T. The Denver Broncos. That's good. I'll look into that. I didn't watch the Thursday night game last night. Yeah, let's check the Monday Night Football score there. Let's see here. Let's go to ESPN here. Let's see. So, here we're headed by the wind will die down once it's a wind tunnel next to these tall buildings. So I think this is dimming. We're going to head up to see the wind's finally dying down. Hey, the Denver Broncos beat the Las Vegas Raiders 10-7 there yesterday. So that was a close, low-scoring game there. That was your Thursday night football game there. Let's see what the latest headlines are from the New York Times here. Hey, if you just tuned in here, we got November the 7th, 2025 here. And as far as we know, the government's still shut down. Here's your top headlines from New York Times here. We got 7:06 in the AM. I'm working from home today. That's why I'm heading up to the grocery store here. We're at Hampton, Hampton Hampton Court and Deming. So we'll just head up this way. And we'll head up to Mariano's here. Hundreds of U.S. flights are canceled as shutdown hits air travel. Well, finally, it's affecting the real world here. Well, tell that to the people. SNAP benefits are cut off. It's not funny, I know. As hours dwindled before flight cuts, the government was publicly mum. Yeah, they think we're not going to notice. Down to $1.18, how families are coping with SNAP benefit cuts. This is from the New York Times. Airlines rush to prepare for federal reductions in flights. I'm just reading the headline. I'm missing your comments here. I'm reading the headlines here. Trump increases pressure on his own party as shutdown grinds on. Yeah, I saw earlier this week he was pressuring Congress and Thune there, then the Senate to end the filibuster. Even the Republican senators are not going to do that because they realize eventually they won't be in power sometime in the future and it'll come back to haunt them. So senators know that one thing that distinguishes the Senate different than the House is they got the filibuster. You know, Mr. Smith goes to Washington. A lot of it's theatrics, but it is a way for the minority party in power to have some minority rights. Here, another victim of the shutdown, tourism in the nation's capital. I've been looking for stories like this. I've heard anecdotal stories that the tourism in Las Vegas and San Antonio is down. The tourism in Washington, D.C. is down. This is for mainly international travel, I'm sure. So here, let's see what else is going on. It says this is from the New York Times here, November the 7th, 2025. The U.S. job market is cooling but not collapsing. Yeah, the futures are down today, but the market's still near the all-time highs. I think they approved Elon Musk's $1 trillion pay package, but he has to meet a bunch of performance requirements, so it's not guaranteed he's going to get that money. And of course, the shareholders, 75% of them voted for it. They're just hoping he's going to meet these benchmarks because it means the stock will go through the roof and they'll make a bunch of money. But easier said than done. Yeah, it's messing up global supply chains. It says, facing Trump tariffs, Swiss farmers find themselves with too much milk. See, we're getting supply chain disruptions. You know, it's affecting the soybean farmers. I know the China deal kind of brought some relief to that, thankfully, but we'll see what goes on. But hey, if you just joined here, we're in Chicago. We're going by the Dewey's house. We'll show the front here. This is the Wrightwood Apartments. Look at those beautiful windows there. This is on Wrightwood is this way. This is Hamden Court. Hamden Court's the street we're on. And here's the Dewey's mansion. We show it all the time, but I never tired of it. The Chicago landmark here. The Francis J. Dewey's house. It's Adolph Krejcil and Arthur Hertz architects. The exuberant bronze detailing of the Dewey's house reflects the European background and the original owner and his two architects. This is the Dewey's house. This was Wrightwood and Hampton Court, Lincoln Park, Chicago. This house is a monument to old world splendor, an example of the eclectic architecture popular in Chicago after the Columbian Exposition of 1893. There it is. And see, and his relative lived in that house, and they shared this courtyard. Look at that beautiful facade. This is like Baroque, French Renaissance revival, but kind of in the Baroque style. I almost want to say Rococo, but I never heard anybody else say that. I'm just throwing out jargon to act like I'm intelligent here. But yeah, let's go check out the construction progress on the Second Church of Christ scientists. They're adaptively reusing it for housing, and it's being renovated. Look at the griffins and stuff, all the amazing detail. It's the Wrightwood Apartments. The building next to it's equally as nice. Yeah, Kenya, thanks for tuning in from Kenya. I know the capital's Nairobi. Well, you have Mount Kilimanjaro. Thanks for tuning in from Kenya. That's nice. And, well, it's the headwaters of the Nile, right? Lake Victoria. You got some nice waterfalls, beautiful wildlife preserves, I guess. So does Tanzania, which is south. We'll go to the Lincoln Park Zoo. They have a nice, I know it's not Kenya, it's south of you. They got nice exhibits about Tanzania and Lake Malawi, which is south of there, the Rift Valley. But hey, thanks for tuning in from Kenya. I'm sure there's many more things I need to know about Kenya. I know the Chicago Marathon happens every fall. A lot of runners from Kenya, Uganda, that area, people that run in the mountains there, they always just do so well in the marathon. And thanks for that. Here's the Wrightwood and Pine Grove. Pine Grove. This is the second Church of Christ Scientist historically here in Chicago. It was a church. The Church of Christ Scientist is interesting. It's one of the rare religions that was started by a woman in Boston in the late 1800s. Founded, I mean. It was a offshoot of Protestant sects there, and so the congregation dwindled. They sold the church, and now they're this. It's strange how they're doing it. It's like a building. They kept the facade, but they built a building behind it, and the windows don't line up. Nothing matches up. It's just like they're going to use the facade as kind of like the front of the building, and I don't see any connection with the building behind it with what's in front of it. But at least they preserved the facade. They gutted the inside. There used to be a dome. I'm not necessarily criticizing it. I'm just confused. And I thought at least like the windows would line up, but it looks like you're going to look through the windows to windows behind there. And so it's just like a false front. But oh, your great grandma was a Christian Scientist. Yeah, this was a huge. When this opened, there's pictures from like the 1905 or whenever this opened, 1903 or something. I don't know the exact date. There was like a huge crowd of people there, and it was a big deal. And it was a neoclassical building, all this beautiful housing here. This is Pine Grove. This is the north end of Lincoln Park. We're heading towards Lakeview. We got 7:13 in the AM. How you doing here? Thanks for tuning in here. Yeah, Chicago's Art Deco. We got a lot of Art Deco. We got even a few Art Moderne, which is even more rare. And yeah, we try to point out the Art Deco buildings, especially downtown, all the Art Deco skyscrapers and other embellishments that we have. Even on Lakeshore Drive, some of the overpasses are Art Deco-esque, like the one at Diversey there. But we're on Pine Grove here. Look how this house, this was the first wave of development, this was the second wave of development, this was the third wave of development. Look how the scale changed. And this house got stuck here. And you see these are the first wave of development, this Richardsonian Romanesque. This is the third wave of development. Actually, the fourth wave. This is the fourth wave. This is the mid-century modern. So right here, this is 1890s, early 1920s, late 1920s, and this is probably 1960s. And so this is 1890s, 1880s, 1890 stuff, maybe 1888 to 1892. All this stuff was built at once. The same thing as the Brewster. It was amazing flurry of activity. So much was built all at the same time, and it was the 1888 to 1892 stuff is just amazing. And the stuff that was built in the late 1920s is amazing as well. These waves of development here in Chicago. And Chicago kind of peaked, and it never fully recovered from the Great Depression, or especially the spreading out to the suburbs in the 1950s and 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s, and now even continues, so there's the back of the Elks Memorial. It's going to get windy here. This is the Brewster. This is if you've seen Child's Play or Running Scared, a lot of movies use this movie in the 1980s, and Charlie Chaplin briefly lived in this maroon building here called the Brewster. Again, built between 1888 and 1892. It's steel frame construction, but they have a thinner veneer of stone. It's not as thick as it looks, but it was a hybrid, and or not a hybrid. It's the early steel frame construction in Chicago, and it's known for the interior light well through the stairwell. It has glass block. Early use of glass block, very early use of glass block on the stairwell to let light, natural light. It has like a skylight, and it's an apartment, it's a residential building. So here we're on Diversey here, and this is where Lakeview begins. And again, the change in scale, there probably was an original, probably in the 1880s they built the buildings like this, 1890s they tore them down and built this. Trust me, that's how, in the 1920s they built these, they tore down other buildings to build these. And here at Pine Grove, we'll cross the street here if we get the break in the traffic here. You know, you can look back to the 1970s high-rise luxury condos there. And we'll head, if I cross the street here, yeah, look down there. Amazing density of residential areas here, southern part of Lakeview. Yeah, the Brewster, it's pretty nice there, Charles. How you doing? Yeah, thanks for saying hello. That's great. Hey, friends and neighbors, that's good. Yeah, what do you say? What's up, Chicago? Very nice. Yeah, it's pretty peaceful. It's hard to contrast this, you know. I almost don't even go to Instagram anymore because, you know, I've been, you know, just to make sure the videos stay out there. Even though we don't really like them, we like the videos. We give a heart to the ones that, so other people see them, so the algorithm will push them, of ICE detaining people. And it's very hard to see these legal conundrums. I mean, think about the legal conundrum. I'm not going to get emotional. I'm going to just calmly explain the strange legal realities that we're now faced with. There's an extremely viral video going around that you may see. I know it's on Instagram. I don't know if it's on TikTok or YouTube, where a ICE apprehended someone in a vehicle in Los Angeles, and there was a large crowd of U.S. citizens filming it, gathered around there. And they became incensed because there was a baby in a car seat in the back of the car. Apparently, ICE apprehended a undocumented person in the vehicle, and they pulled him out of the car. He's like, my baby's in the car. What are you going to do with it? And then the crowd was like, what are you guys going to do with the baby? And they started yelling at ICE. 2 ICE members with loaded long guns, hopefully their safeties were on, got in the front seat with the baby. Technically, the baby's probably a U.S. citizen because it was born here, and that's why they were trying to get rid of birthright citizens. So the baby in the back seat, I'm just talking about the legal, not the emotional or the trauma caused by the whole situation. And the crowd's yelling at ICE. They're zooming in on their faces because, you know, all this talk about, you know, Epstein and pedophilia, and then I'm not making the association with the sexual stuff. I'm just the idea of, would the police have handled that differently? With child protective services, should they be called instead of 2 unknown person? We don't even know who these people are taking this baby that's a U.S. citizen. Obviously, their father was not. And then where does this baby go? Does this baby go to, like, Broadview in Chicago, go to the detention facility? We don't know where it's at. Is it getting proper care? No one cares. Does anybody care about this baby? This is what I'm asking. Does anybody care about this baby that's a U.S. citizen, even though their parents are not? There's thousands of people in this situation, and these are the legal conundrums that for years now are going to be litigation. There'll be lawsuits of U.S. citizens, ICE violating their 4th or First Amendment rights. There'll be massive lawsuits. There'll be massive payouts. These lawyers will take these cases up, and some of them will go against the jurisdictions or the federal government. The taxpayers will have to pay millions of dollars to these people, and the current administration has no answer for how this is all going to play out long term. I know in the short term what they want to do. They have quotas for ICE, and I know you don't want me to talk about this. Tough shit. This is stuff going on in the real world that we have to talk about. You can change the channel, and, you know, we have to talk about, we talk about the news. Every time I read the New York Times and turn on MSNBC, they're talking about everything else besides this. It seems like even the supposed left-wing liberal bias of the media will not talk about these legal conundrums that we're now facing. We see it now on social media. So I'm going to talk about it because they won't talk about it. And thanks for tuning in here. We're heading to the grocery store. So my general plan for today, thanks for tuning in. We're on, I think we're still on Pine Grove here. I'm going to cut over to Broadway, and we'll go up to Mariano's. When I get to Mariano's, I'm going to go grocery shopping. I'll end this live on YouTube, and I'll do my grocery shopping, and then when I come out, I'll attempt to start a live on TikTok. I'll do the same thing as we did yesterday. I'll do a Super Friends only. This is great. You don't have to subscribe to comment. You only have to somehow become a super fan of my site, I think you get that by giving me a happy heart or something that costs much less than the... I can't believe TikTok raised subscriptions to $9.99. I don't expect anybody to pay that. Thanks to the 3 people that have, I will help you out. I mean, I will be sure to acknowledge that, or at least try to figure out who you are so I can thank you. And here, look at the nice fall display here. We just turned on, what street are we on here? This is, hold on, let me get the street here. I always forget this street. We filmed this before because I usually walk over here to go to Mariano's here. Hold on one second. I want to make sure I get the right street here. Tell me the street. Oakdale. This is Oakdale. Okay, so hey, welcome to Oakdale and Pine Grove. Oakdale has these nice, Better Homes and Gardens here. Look at they had some nice Halloween displays here. They got some nice fall displays on their porches here. Look at the pumpkins. Yeah, very nice. The flowers. Look at the I mean, this is a true labor of love. Someone that has all these nice flowers and puts out their little porch there. Look at the nice corners here. Better Homes and Gardens here. Pine Grove, thanks for tuning in here. So, hey, look at the falling leaves here. We'll continue to check out the fall color. So, at lunchtime, I'll be on YouTube as usual, the Lunch Bunch. I hope to go to the zoo. We'll try to check out the two new grizzly bears. And here, we'll head over to Broadway, and we'll go grocery shopping here. Yeah, there's several sides to every story. I don't expect everyone to agree with my political viewpoint. I'm just amazed there's not more empathy for this baby in the car. You know, I know that's not what people intend. It's a bad situation. There's like a lot of bad situations. And when have Americans ever agreed about anything? This is a strongly polarizing issue. Duh. And so we're not going to agree. And we're almost sorting ourselves out as Americans by how we react to this one issue. And people on one side do not want to associate with people on the other side, and people on the other side do not want to associate with us, because it's almost like it's such a wedge issue, and it's so hard to agree with the other viewpoint because it's so vastly different in how people treat other people. And if people will treat people like this way, they'll treat other Americans this way. I strongly believe that. I strongly believe personally that if Americans will tolerate ICE treating people that are not U.S. citizens the way they're treating, they will tolerate ICE treating Americans that way. And that to me is an intolerable position, because you are okay with the Gestapo because you're okay because it's advancing the political objectives of your side through force, which all political parties have used the police power of the state to enforce their policies. Even the left, even the Democrats during the war on drugs, was started by continued by Nixon, used the police power of the state to enforce drug policies as far as illegal drugs in this country. And that was a violent use of force, usually through the police and the DEA, which was another 3-letter agency like ICE, and that affected, that affected people and families were broken up as a result of that, and now we look at it differently. Here's Nancy's, here we're on Broadway here, and I didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world was turning. The nation was divided long before Trump. It'll continually be divided long after Trump. He ain't gonna last forever, because nothing lasts forever. And we'll see how it plays out here. Hey, I'm gonna go up to welcome to Chicago. We're here on Broadway and Lakeview, Broadway Street, and I'm gonna do some grocery shopping. We got about 50 degrees. It's not too bad. It rained overnight, and we'll head up to Wellington, Broadway. Yeah, worse, not good. What's good? What's war good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again. Yeah, we'll sing the old 70s anthem there. Hey, Chicago Disposal there, blowing through the intersection there. Hey, look at this housing here. So here, Mariano, see how they have the these clouds are moving really fast here. So Lakeview. So like I said before, I'm gonna go do some grocery shopping. I'll end this live. Thanks everybody for tuning in. You can watch the rerun there. We went by the North Pond and checked out the fall leaves. I wasn't talking about politics the whole time. I only did it for the brief moment here when we checked out the news. Notice there wasn't any news articles from the New York Times about what I was saying. And there, Hell's Kitchen, Alicia Keys. It's gonna be here, Broadway in Chicago. So when we come out of Mariano's, I'll attempt to go live on TikTok. We'll do it like we did yesterday. We'll do a super fans only site. Only can comment. Everybody can watch. To me, that works really well, and we'll just reverse our steps. I'll head back home. I'm working from home mostly today. And then at lunchtime, we'll go to the Link Park Zoo. We'll see if we can find the grizzly bears. If not, we'll just check out other animals. And hey, thanks everybody. Thanks for tuning in here. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Happy Friday here. Yeah, November the 7th. Enjoy the weather here for Chicago. Should get up to 60 degrees. It's probably going to be our warmest day before the snow comes on Sunday. So we'll see you soon, and then we'll cover that. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.